Weeping angels have quickly become a staple of modern horror games. Being a type of enemy that only moves when you don't look at it, developers have found a lot of potential in this concept for horror projects, and mascot horror is no different. Most professional mascot horror releases nowadays pretty much always include a Weeping Angel inspired section, and two of the most iconic ones in my opinion are the Endo basement from FNaF Security Breach and the school section from Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. Because they're both so iconic and use two different styles of this segment, I want to compare both of these sections to see which one handles Weeping Angels better in the same style as my Bendy vs Poppy Chapter 1 video. So keep your eyes peeled and flashlights equipped as we dive into Mascot Horror's two most iconic Weeping Angel sections. The first section we'll be talking about today is the Endo Warehouse from Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. After Freddy is captured by Moon, Gregory ventures into the basement of the Pizzaplex, where he encounters the glamrock endoskeletons who only move when he's not looking. The main gimmick of this section, besides the endos themselves, is the sheer amount of endos in this area. However, they're not all active at once. Instead, each time you push a button to open a door, a few endos activate at a time. We're introduced to this mechanic with this endo, who sits by himself in the hallway. After crawling through a vent, we officially enter the warehouse, where we navigate the hallways by pushing buttons to open doors, while the endos activate around us. There's also this endo in a side room, who can only be activated by opening this present. After running through several hallways pushing buttons, you arrive in this large room full of deactivated endos. Grabbing the security badge from the desk activates every single endoskeleton in the room, forcing you to deal with all of them, in addition to the ones that are already active. Crawling back through the vent we came from concludes this section of the game. Overall, the Endo Warehouse section of Security Breach is a decently short but sweet section that challenges the player on how well they can absorb their surroundings. People often consider this to be the best part of Security Breach, and I completely understand why, since it's a scary section from an otherwise pretty non-scary game. Our second section for this video is the Schoolhouse section from Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, specifically the second half, where you are pursued by the one surviving teacher, Miss Delight. After completing a few energy puzzles and walking into this room, Miss Delight charges in and destroys the school's generator, which lets a battery come flying out that allows you to keep going. From here you continue to solve energy puzzles, while also watching your back for Miss Delight. After powering on this big gate, Miss Delight gives up her act of being a weeping angel and sprints after us. Fortunately, we can pull down this lever to close the gate, which crushes Miss Delight in her last-ditch attempt to catch us. Overall, this section with Miss Delight is an absolute highlight from Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, with really cool level design that forces you to turn away from the threat for an extended period of time in order to complete puzzles. Miss Delight is also a really cool antagonist that shines against the harsh lighting of this environment. Now that we've examined both sections individually, let's pin them head-to-head against each other to determine which game has the better Weeping Angel section. First of all, we need to compare the locations these segments take place in, a warehouse versus a school. While it might sound like the Endo Warehouse should be the obvious winner here, I actually prefer Poppy's school because of just how well it's designed. While the Endo Warehouse is just a series of hallways, Poppy Chapter 3's school is a series of classrooms broken off by gates and hallways, as well as huge holes that Miss Delight can walk through, so that's 1 point for Poppy. Next is the character, FNaF's Glamrock Endos versus Poppy's Miss Delight. Starting with Miss Delight, I think her design is extremely cool, with a shattered face exposing her fleshy interior and a mace made out of school supplies. The Glamrock Endos, on the other hand, while not being nearly as cool, are definitely more unnerving and creepy. In my opinion, creepier and more unsettling enemies are better as Weeping Angels, so I'm giving this point to Security Breach. Third up is the gameplay itself. Both sections have you tasked with completing actions to open doors while the enemy stalks you, with one having you push buttons and the other having you move electricity with your grab pack. However, the difference is that I'm pretty sure the endos are faster than Mr. Light, so it makes sense that there's more emphasis put on watching them than progressing. In my opinion though, putting more focus on progression is better than focusing on the enemy to create more tension, so that's 2 points for Poppy. Finally, we have the start versus end of the chase. How Weeping Angel sequences both start and end is very important to me in order to establish the threat and bring them a satisfying conclusion or tease a future appearance. FNaF has a much more subtle intro, with the first endo quietly activating as you walk up to it, and ending with a mad dash to the vent that takes you back out, while the endos still quietly pursue you. Poppy, on the other hand, has a much more dramatic start and finish, with Mr. Light storming in to destroy the generator, and getting violently crushed under a gate at the end. While both definitely work in their own ways, Security Breach's more subtle intro and outro works better for me as more of a horror-focused opening and closing, so that's another point for FNaF. Well, now all we have to do is tally up the points and... wait, we have a tie? Well, since both games have 2 points, I'm going to have to make a bit of an executive decision on which segment I think is better. And personally, I believe the better mascot horror Weeping Angel segment is Poppy Playtime School Chase with Mr. Light. This segment is not only an absolute highlight of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, but just the entire series in general, as the way Weeping Angel mechanics are combined with Poppy's electricity puzzles is amazing. It's fun, it's scary, and it never fails to keep me on my toes. Don't get me wrong, I still absolutely love Security Breach's Endo basement, but I just don't really think it matches Poppy in terms of quality. I'm curious to hear what you guys think of this conclusion, so please let me know down in the comments. But anyways, that's all from me. I'm Supersonic, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.